guys, welcome back to the Yarnquisitions Podcast. I'm Celine. What's my intro? We do knitting, crochet, and whatever other fiber arts that I'm feeling this week. And I hope you guys have a drink or a beverage because y'all gotta stay hydrated. The weather forecast for my area is heat wave, especially tomorrow or mostly just Monday and Tuesday. So Labor Day weekend, can't go outside because 96 is too dangy for me or dangerous. Just because I just don't do well in hot weather. Like 85 is kind of my brain operating limit, if you know what I mean. Like, it's hard to do any math or any critical thinking at that weather or at that temperature. Anything above 85 is just stretching it, legit. So yeah, it also doesn't help that I run hot, so that shit doesn't help. And I got my order in, but I thought customs would take a month, but it came in a week, so that was really surprising for me, or to me. I think it got shipped August 30th, and today is September 2nd. So that's a really crazy turnaround time for mail that's from the UK. What the fuck? Okay. Unless there's this super highway kind of mail system from UK to US. I don't know why that is, or did it just go through customs like water? It just went through, even though stuff from Denmark in early August was still taking 2 weeks minimum or something, because it gets stuck at customs. So maybe it cleared up. I don't know. I did order something from petiteknit, so we'll see when it comes in. Yeah, I think that's... And I still gotta order my yarn from Wool Warehouse. And this package that I just got was shipped by DHL, and Wool Warehouse also uses DHL, so yeah, I think it should be about the same in a week, basically. So enough about that. I just get into the whips. I don't have any finished objects because it's been less than a week since I last filmed, and I'm filming now because I think I wouldn't have any other time to film except on a Tuesday again, and I didn't want to wait until another Tuesday passes by, so trying to be early, a little early. So I did the body a little longer. I got some progress on it, even though when I was knitting on it, it didn't feel like I was making any progress at all. So yeah, so now it's the cropped length. So if I wear it with this, or if I wear it with high-waisted stuff like a skirt or something, it's perfect, but and I could just add the ribbing, but I know that my winter wardrobe, I know I won't wear skirts that often, and if I wanted to wear it with a skirt, I could just tuck it in a little bit, kind of like a blouse. Like you tuck it in and then you pull some out, and then so you can like move around. So that's my plan. But I didn't want to work on this yesterday. And I forgot to say that this is the cargill sweater. It's a test knit, and it should be out in October. I just watched Grandpa's new episode of her podcast. So she said it should be out in October, at least. I think that was her plan. I only watched it once, so maybe I misheard the information because I was doing something else. I was doing my nails, so like I wasn't listening as well as I usually do when I knit, because knitting is just like, it's not complicated, but when I'm doing this, I'm like, oh yeah, another coat of this, another coat of this, only on this finger and only on this finger, and gotta do the same for my other hand, because I make it way too complicated for myself, because that's just how my brain works. Always gotta overachieve, you know, that's the vibe. And I tried this on with the body, or I mean that's how I knew the length of the body, and I thought I made the sleeves longer, but then when I tried it on, it was a little on the short side. I think I have a feeling that I also said that in my last episode, so if I'm repeating, well, I'm repeating. But yeah. And then there's like another hack that, or another adjustment you can do if mohair is like really scratchy on your neck, but like not scratchy anywhere else, is to not knit with the mohair on the inside of the collar. And I'm like, I'm so stupid. I should have just done that. But I didn't, and I really don't feel like ripping it out because it's nice and stretchy right now. And I just don't want to do it again. So we'll block it, and if it's still scratchy and if I can't take it, I'll probably do that adjustment. I'll put this away. Okay. And then for my second wig, I got the skirt part done. Oh, it's inside out right now. Let me pull it outside in. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't look like much. It just looks like a tube. I haven't blocked it or nothing. Because I just want to block it only once. Okay. It's a pretty good length for just by itself. You could definitely do it shorter, but with it blocked, I don't know how short it would be. Oh yeah, this looks good. So I'm just stretching it a little bit so that it like lies flat, so you can see like the shape that I will have. So yeah, I knit this in the smallest size, and the sizes is according to your waist circumference. But yeah, and I saw that people had trouble finding like the thick waistband that she recommends, which is like 34 centimeters width, which is this part. And sorry, my cat's on the counter. So yeah, people had trouble finding the waistband, and Florence said she bought it from like Wool Warehouse or eBay. So if you buy from those two places, or no, Etsy. So if you buy from those two places, then that's chill. But if you don't care about how thick the waistband is, then you just go anywhere. Because I think the most common sizing is like 22 centimeters and 26 centimeters. And I think 34, did I say centimeters? I meant millimeters. That's like way too freaking huge. So it's 34 millimeters, 22 millimeters, and 26 millimeters. And 22 millimeters is about 3/4 of an inch. And then 26, I think, is an inch. Because 2.5 roughly is an inch. And then 34 centimeters, or millimeters, sorry, is like an inch and a half, I want to say. No, it should be an inch and a quarter. Not sure. But yeah. So far so good. I haven't woven the end in because I'm lazy, and I've been procrastinating on picking up for the shorts because I don't want to pick up right now. So, because I'm procrastinating on both projects, I casted on a new one, which is, if maybe you can recognize this, but it's the Sophie scarf by petiteknit. Except this is heavily modified, okay? So instead of increasing the way that petiteknit increases, which I find to be a little bulky in my opinion, or at least for what I want it to be, because I want it to be a headband, okay? A nice headband. My head is tiny. Well, for a fitted cap, I think my head would be, or the size would be 7 inches and 3/8 of an inch, or 7 3/8 of an inch. That's my fitted cap size. So I don't know if that's large or small, but it's definitely smaller than people around me. So because of that, and I didn't want the scarf to like swallow my whole like top head, because 10 centimeters is already like almost all the top of my head, and I don't want a headband that covers that much, because it just looks strange and odd, or at least on me it would. And I saw Typical Bliss knitting on it, and she finished it. And then I saw Florence working on it, and she finished it real fast. So, and then as I was working on this, I saw Kopi Kelly's podcast. She finished one and she's working on the other, I think, or maybe or something like that. And I'm like, wow, literally everyone is working on Sophie's scarf. But yeah, so my modifications is I increase every, I think, 19 rows. And I thought I was just doubling up the rows in the beginning because I counted from the I-cord, but because you only knit the I-cord every 2 rounds or every other round, I didn't account for that, the wrong side round, or wrong side row, not round. So I thought I was doing 10 rows or doing 9 rows and then skipping and then increasing on the 10th, but instead I'm doing 19. Yeah. Because your first row is the wrong side row, and then your last row is also a wrong side row, and then you increase on the right side. So that's why it's 19 and not 18, I think. If I'm wrong, whatever. But I count 9 from the right side and then increase on the next row. And I kept doing that until I got 5 inches, or not 5 inches, 5 centimeters across, because I find that that's narrow enough where it doesn't look big and it looks like a normal headband. So yeah, 5 centimeters is good for me. And kind of took inspiration from Florence because she also knitted quite narrow as well, but she did the same increases as the pattern, and then she just knit the center longer instead of decreasing straight away, as the pattern says. So yeah. Did I need to buy the pattern? Probably not, but I needed guidance to get the result I wanted and see if I was like correct, because I was trying to finesse it before about the pattern, and yeah, I was just confused and I needed some guidance. So I bought the pattern. It's like a few bucks. It's whatever. And it is short, but it was kind of worth it because I didn't have to have like the headache of not knowing if I was doing it right. So yeah. And you only increase and decrease on one side so that you'll have like a straight edge on one side and then like kind of like a triangle on the other side. So it is technically a triangle scarf, but then in all the photos it doesn't look like a triangle scarf, which is like really confusing. And that's why I found it confusing to finesse, because I didn't know if it was what shape it was. And yeah, I feel like all the photos don't even like convey the shape of the scarf. So yeah, and this is a safety pin. I guess it is a safety pin. to mark the center. So yeah, I am already halfway, and from the center to the end is 40 centimeters, which is half of the small version, because I put a tape measure around my head like this to see how much extra I would have after tying it. And 80 centimeters is enough for sure. And the large one is like 100 something, 110, 100-ish centimeters, and 80 centimeters is enough for me. And a thin one like this would be kind of cute to like tie on like a bag, or like on your ponytail or something, like a narrow one, so that you have more to like tie it with. Maybe I should make a large one too. And I forgot to say that I'm using the extras or the leftovers from the Lourdes genser by Sendisgarn, because I bought too much yarn because I didn't know what I was gonna make with it, or this yarn. So yeah, and it almost feels like I haven't used any from this leftover skein. But yeah, and the small one uses 20 grams of yarn, and that's like so little, but I'm already like making it much smaller than that, so I think this is less than 20 grams, or at the end it's gonna be less than 20 grams, but I don't have a scale, so I wouldn't know at all how heavy this is. Maybe I should get one, I don't know. I feel like it would be useful to get a small scale to weigh these like small projects, or like weigh like leftover skeins to see how much I have left, and then times it by how many meters are in like 25 grams or whatever. But yeah, and I totally forgot to say that I made this because it's my practice project for continental or Norwegian continental knitting, except that it doesn't have pearls in this at all. So basically you're just using knit stitches, and this is like a perfect beginner project that you don't have to swatch for. You just have to have fingering to DK weight yarn. It doesn't, anything in between that is fine, because you're working on 3.5mm needles. And actually I haven't used these straight needles since when I think the last time I was trying to learn continental, which was last year, I think, like December 2021. So yeah, I haven't used or tried continental since then, because I was so frustrated and I couldn't get the finger movements, the tension to work at all. And now this morning I had to like relearn it a little bit, because I'm still not used to it, and I got into the groove much faster than in 2021. So yay, getting slowly but surely the hang of continental. Oh yeah, and then Arna and Carlos, what do you call it? They had that Norwegian tension video. and then they just uploaded their how to do the Norwegian purl, and I was like, wow, I've been doing the Norwegian purl wrong the whole time. And I think 2 episodes ago, is it 2? I don't forget if it was like last episode or 2 episodes ago. I tried to do the Norwegian continental, and I did the knit stitches fine, but the purl stitches, because I did it wrong, when I came back to it again, they were mounted on wrong, or so they were like, instead of being on your needle with the right leg in front, the left leg was in front, so that's backwards. So now I know why I was doing it wrong and why it was mounted wrong on the needle. Sorry, I'm just like slurring my words together, and that happens when my mind is moving faster than my mouth. Yeah. So yeah, and I couldn't understand why until the video came out yesterday. I was like, wow, lifesaver. Because all the other videos that I've seen on Norwegian purl, they do it too fast, even though it's like only slightly slower in the Arna and Carlos video, and it's a short, so it's like a vertical video, but it was very helpful. And yeah, it's very clear, and yeah, it's very short. Nothing else much to say about it. I feel like I have never, maybe I haven't said it in a while, but the skirt is knit in a 3.5mm needle, and I'm using 4mm for the cargill, and I'm using 3.5mm for the Sophie scarf. And these are just some cheap ass dollar store needles. It's the Mexican dollar store. I find that it's so funny. In like SoCal, I don't really see Mexican dollar stores, but in my neighborhood that I used to live in San Francisco, there's always the Mexican dollar store. So I don't understand why it's more prevalent in San Francisco than it is anywhere else, because I've literally never seen a like privately owned or like a small business dollar store. It's always like Dollar Tree in SoCal, or like other ones that I don't know, but yeah, there's so many like chains I find that in SoCal, but there's not many chains up here in the Bay Area. Like occasionally there is a Dollar Tree, and occasionally there is like a Daiso. Daisos are like, there's a lot of Daisos here, but for some reason Mexican dollar stores, I don't only like really know of that one store in my neighborhood in San Francisco. So yeah, that's so weird. I mean, there used to be more back in the day when I was a kid, but now yeah, hard to come by. But they got like cheap needles, so, and even though one of them is rusting, it's like green, it has green spots on the tip, I don't find that to be a problem yet. So, yeah. And I'm like, how did I scratch it? Because this is like completely coated in like in a shiny paint. So I'm like, how did it even start oxidizing? I don't even know. But yeah, that's all my whips, and should get to the package with my trusty knife or box cutter. I actually had to get this for a art class called Artist Books, and it was like one of the last art classes that I took in university, because it was like a senior level project class kind of thing, because my freaking it's so hard to see where they taped it, because the tape is like the same color as the box. It's brown, and it's the paper type, so it's hard to find the edge. So you can probably skip like 30 seconds or something while I open this. Oh shit. Okay. That's nothing. Oof. Wow, in person, these cones are so huge. So, let me see if I got the right side. So, I got cones from rennie. This is like their info, but rennie.com is actually their wholesale website. So you actually can't buy from there. You would have to buy from Knit Rennie. So it's like knit, like knit stitch, Knit Rennie.com, because that's their for the public website, like regular people like you and me. That's where to buy from. They do have scoured yarn, so basically there's already how do I say, it's ready to be knit and worn, but these greasy cones are not made to be knit and worn. It has to be scoured or washed first. Maybe washed like 2 times, so that all the, all the oil in it is gone. Because they put oil in it so that it doesn't like get shredded in the machines they use in the factory, or like or damage the machines, I think. And I got their, wow, these are huge. I got their lambswool cashmere blend, or the super soft cashmere. What is it called? these called? It's like their color catalog, their swatches. So it has, sorry, I was just looking at it. So it's a lamb's wool and cashmere blend, and they call it the supersoft cashmere, and it is quite expensive. It's like $70 per cone, but the cone is 850 grams, so it's pretty good, if I should say so myself. Oh, but interesting, they have strawberry sherbet, but they don't have it online, which is interesting. Well, they don't have some of the other ones. Oh, and I'm glad I didn't get this color because it's much darker. It's called cherry blossom than I thought it would be. Because obviously online photos will differ greatly from like in-person swatches, so that's why I got this, because some of them look like it might not be accurate on the photo, so yeah, that's why I got these. What are they called? Like swatch cards? No, shade cards. Called shade cards. That's the word I was looking for. And they have what do you call it? There are a lot of like beginner info on the back, and they also have knitting machine or knitting gauge machines or knitting machine gauge recommendations on the back as well. But I don't have a knitting machine, so it doesn't matter to me. And this is their what do you call it? The supersoft and unique Shetland stuff. And I guess there's some shades that aren't listed, but they are still available or something. And then it says old unique shades, but I'm like, what does that mean? And what is the color? And there's the old super soft shades that are still available, but I'm like, blueberry, don't they still have blueberry? I just saw on their website. Lourdes, yeah, Idaho. Wait, they still have that? I'm confused. It's kind of nice to feel it too, because they are made out of the super soft, and I can't say that it's rough. It might be a little rough, on the skin at least, because if I rub it, but it's not prickly. I don't know, maybe I'll have a different opinion when I like wear it or something. Yeah, so they have a very extensive color range in the super soft and unique Shetland yarns. And I bought ugie purl. Well, I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, I was really torn between like pinkard and like strawberry sherbet, because online it looked more pink, but the what do you call it? The image looked dark, but I don't know if that was like the color itself is that color, or if it's like the photo quality. But yeah, it is quite dark, but it's like a dusty like lavender and pink. Oops, that one. And this is like a much brighter, like strawberry, kind of like strawberry ice cream color. So yeah, definitely won the lottery with this one. But yeah, it's like, I feel like I can wear this for sure. And the greens, I don't know why, they get me every time with the greens. They have so many green colors. And the blues as well. They got like the dark blues, and then they got the light blues. And they also got a light green. I didn't know if I wanted to do this one because it looked really shiny in the photo online, but it's much matter here. Yeah. And it is slightly darker in person. And this looked much lighter in person. I don't know. Or maybe my eyes are adjusting, so it's like hard to see color accuracy right now. But yeah. And they have like basically all the grays you ever need. So yeah. And it's hard to see the darker colors online because it's so dark. But yeah, this new navy shade, bruh, so nice, honestly. It's a very rich, deep navy. But I don't know if it translates on screen. It's such a nice color, but it looks black online, so I couldn't even tell what color, how deep the color was, or like anything like that. And green bark also, it just looks black too, or like a dark brown, but definitely you can see like that it's a green with it's like heathered with brown, like dark brown. So I think that's a really nice color. And spruce too. Spruce is a nice color. Oh wait. Huh. They don't have like old forest on here. Kind of like old forest. Because I think it's a shade between spruce and pine shadow, or maybe no, it's a browner version of spruce, I think. But yeah, I can like fawn over these colors forever. They're so nice, and there's such a wide selection. And I love wide selection because I'm super, super, super picky about color, and a lot of companies only have a few colors. Especially Drops Flora, like why is that selection so tiny? Like expand it please, like the alpaca range, like expand Drops Flora. Thank you very much. So the colors I got is ugie, I don't know, it's UGIE purl, and yeah, it's much coarser on the cone. I already feel it, and it's a very colorful gray, or grayish green. It's a very colorful yarn. It's like a rainbow, like a subtle rainbow. It's not like the super intense bright rainbow, so kind of like that. And there's a piece of red lint, which is like I also have red lint everywhere in the house. Okay, so I mean, it's not from my house, but it's whatever. Actually, and they also took like 6 pounds off of the super soft colors because their 850 gram winder broke down or something, so they just got the larger cones that they already have. So I think it's in between like 500 grams and 850, so I don't know how much it is. And this is the super soft yarn. The strawberry sherbet is also a super soft yarn. Oh, this one is intense. I think the smell is intense. Yeah, you can definitely smell the oil in this one. Yeah, there's some lint every now and then, but it's whatever. And the combs they use is like a, what do you call it? Like a plastic comb with like holes in the inside. I don't know. Yeah, but it's a very melange, heathered, like a creamy white with like a light pink, but sometimes the pinks get darker. I don't know how well you can see it because it's like, it gets blown out quite easily. But yeah, it's a very nice shade of pink. I love that. Now that's giving me green vibes. It's like a grayish green. I don't know. That color, wait, always confuses me. And this is the super soft cashmere in powder blue. And it's just, I know that Inga said that from Knitting Traditions said that these cones are toxic, but then if I smell it, it just smells like crayons. Like, I'm used to working with toxic materials because oil painting is very toxic. So, and very hazardous. So, it doesn't smell like that. It just smells like pigments, like oil pigments, or maybe the binder that's in oil paints. Yeah, it just smells like that, which is like not harmful by itself. It's usually the pigments that are harmful in oil paints, so you really gotta be careful with cadmium. But cadmium red is the best red. Just gotta say that. Oof. Sorry, there's just trying to fix some stuff. Because one of the ends got loose. Or both of them. So yeah, it's like it's a 2-ply yarn, and it's a light fingering. Well, technically 4-ply. And yeah, so it's a powder blue color, and online it looks much more bluer, or much more lighter, I think. But let me see. Yeah, it looks quite lighter, much lighter than the powder blue in the super soft range. So let me compare and contrast. I think it is lighter in the cashmere one. The cashmere one is the one in the back, this one, and the super soft one is the one in the front. Oops, I think I'm covering it. But yeah, it's just like ever so slightly lighter, the cashmere one. So that's why I got the cashmere one in powder blue. It's just slightly lighter in color. And the porridge color looks like such a nice, what do you call it? A nice light beige. And yeah. Oh, I'm surprised. I know they have winter white in ecru, in their super soft cashmere yarn, but they only have winter white in this. So I'm like, why did they leave it out? But even winter white is really yellow to me. It's like an ivory white, actually. So yeah. That's why getting shade cards are important for me, because I'm really picky, like ridiculously picky about color. And this watercolor color is like really nice. I could just like look at this. Oh, here's Old Forest. Yeah, it's such, this one, this one. It's like such a nice color. Yeah, I'm like really into like, I don't know, I can just gush over colors like all the time. And then this navy looks like the new navy color in the super soft. And isn't it that similar? Yeah, it looks like the same shade. And yeah, that Bordeaux, the boudoir color right here, so nice. But I haven't really like mustered up the courage to buy Bordeaux yarn, because I still have a Bordeaux cotton sweater, and I like rarely use it. So yeah, that's why I'm like on the fence about that. But like, oh, olive green, I'm like, a Christmas sweater. I want a Christmas sweater. I just want a Christmas sweater, okay. But I don't know if this will look good against my skin, even though I really, really, really like the color. Like, I find that anything that leans yellow, or any clothing that leans yellow, or even makeup, if it leans yellow, it brings out the yellow in my skin. And that is not cool with me, because I don't want to look like I'm sick or have jaundice. That is not the vibe, you know? Not the vibe. And actually, for an Asian person, I find that I actually have quite low yellow pigments, or not low yellow pigments, but I think it's like I'm like lightly yellow colored, if you know what I mean. Because anything that leans yellow, in terms of foundation, is like way too yellow or too dark for me. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, I'm so glad I got these, so then I could just gush over these colors and then buy exactly the color I want or need or something. But yeah, I think I gotta look at this some other time, or else this podcast will never end. I don't take a sip of your drink, and then we'll end the podcast. All right, see you guys in a week and a half, or next Saturday. I mean, I'm planning to, but who knows what will happen. But yeah, hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys can work on something that you want to work on instead of have to work on. Because having to work on something is just like, kind of kills the joy a little, to be honest. Even if it's just a testnet that I signed up for. That's just my fault, like, completely. And then also, also has said that I was gonna make a sweater for my cousin. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to make it. But I was in the mood when I suggested it. So, struggling with those feelings. It's just a roller coaster. And yeah. See you guys next Saturday. Bye.